All right, here we are. We're still here somehow. Welcome back. Episode 6 of the VODcast. I'm here, as always, with your normal host and special guest. Y'all want to introduce yourselves? Let's make this happen. Oh, you guys can hear me twice. Hold on. Love this camera.
Banger.
Yeah, you guys heard my camera microphone.
Speakers. But yeah, welcome back to the VODcast. I'm Commando. And then the other two to my left, I suppose, can introduce themselves.
Well, right to left.
Alright, I'm Badgoblin. What's up? That's my intro, I guess.
And I'm Ads20000. I ran the Stride tournament last weekend that we're going to be talking about. Also, obviously, I've done a lot with Edge and Badgoblin and Commando. Badgoblin and Commando did some excellent commentary on our little stacky skit we did. So we go way back, I guess. Well, a few months back.
We actually talked about that last time on the VODcast. We were going over skits.
Yeah, we were talking about skits, yeah.
Yes, I remember that. That was very scuffed. Stride was less scuffed, mainly because we had Loose there, so...
Oh boy, dude. We can't stop catching strays. We can't stop. Oh my god. But yeah, Stride was, for all intents and purposes, for I can tell, a very successful event. I guess the first time I asked, do you agree? Do you think it was successful? Do you think it met your expectations when you were planning it?
I think, yeah, no, it was very successful. Obviously, there were issues, but we finished all our brackets, unlike a certain January LAN, and we there were it's really cool, lots of really cool people there. It's obviously probably the first ever UK proper modern Tetris LAN. POGB had ran some events as like side events at conventions, but like this was like the first bespoke LAN, possibly the first in Europe, although I think Hiku later told me that there's like a PPT event in Germany or something. So I think there might be other stuff that we just haven't heard of. Apparently it's quite disparate and not very well connected, but I think this is almost definitely the first properly bespoke UK LAN. And yeah, we had lots of cool people there, and it's really cool to meet lots of different people.
I was gonna say, like, it might not be like the first LAN in Europe, but like it's certainly like one of the first in a long while, and probably one of the biggest in recent times. So
yeah, so we had just just over 20 participants on day one, and we had just over 30 on day two, plus a handful of spectators on both days. We booked out the venue on day two with the number of tickets we sold, and on day one, there was only one sort of squadron which had like 6 computers open to the public, and the rest was Stride. So we pretty much booked out the venue, which was good.
Yeah, that was very, very cool. And I mean, just how many people showed up for that, and it just seemed like a great time. I've heard a lot of great stories, and a lot of people saying that it was a good time and a great event. So first off, give some kudos to Eds and the TAWS and PK teams. Moose as well was doing a lot of heading for just putting on another great LAN event. Within a month of the other one, Moose has been grinding. Yeah, he's about to go on his 3rd month in a row of a LAN tournament. You'll be seeing the MTS.
Dude's just traveling all over the place right now, all for these LANs. And it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, he has lots of travel plans, taking advantage of his airline benefits before they go away.
Getting some real miles, you know.
Let's talk about airline benefits are OP.
It was really cool to meet Moose. I mean, we've worked on some difficult community management stuff over the last few years, so it's really lovely to be able to meet him in person and put on a cool event. And he's really lovely. He was just as lovely in person as everyone said he was at Snur's Infinite, so it was just really cool to be able to work with Moose. Yeah, he criticized me like once over some decision I was making. It was the TEC bracket. It was the JS bracket got held up because we were having audio issues with stream, and I didn't really want to progress back it too far because I wanted to be able to stream some of it. but that meant I was holding up bracket quite a lot. So Moose was like, "Yeah, Ads, you need to just get them to play their matches." So I was like, "Okay, Moose, I'll do that." But generally speaking, we didn't, we were both running it very well, I suppose. So we didn't have to tell each other to do very much. We just helped each other out. So Moose was was down to do stream production for the whole thing, but I took over for bits of it to give him a break, and so that he could do commentary, because that was a prize pool incentive that was reached, and his commentary was really good. He didn't think it would be, but people said it was good. So yeah,
it's nice.
Yeah, I remember Moose talking a lot about it. In like hindsight. He just kept saying he didn't really like it all that much. There are a lot of people actually that I talked to who said they didn't really like their commentary, but from what I've heard, it's perfectly fine. It's like,
yeah,
they're all good comms.
Yeah, I think there was one section in particular we had to stall. I don't have a clip of this prepared, unfortunately. I think he put a couple of clips on Twitter actually, but we had to stall for a bit, and he did a Q&A with Boggle Toggle, who was his co-commentator. So they talked about some funny things. Moose made some interesting comments about Stride players' hygiene and that sort of thing. So
oh my god. Moose was talking about being a little bit unhinged on the mic at first, but I think he did a great job. I didn't hear a lot of the commentary, but I just feel like a lot of the commentators are very critical of their own work. When in reality, they're all doing a fine job. Badgoblin, were you supposed to write him bits or something? It's like a joke that he made. He was
no. I won't have this. I won't have this slander. So for context, Moose had said, "Hey, ping me at like the middle of the night." He's like, "Hey, Badgoblin, can you send me some bits for commentary?" And I was like, why does he need commentary bit? And he's like, "Because I'm commentating at Stride." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And then I asked him a series of questions. I was like, "All right, sure, I can send you bits." And then I asked like 4 questions, and so I have like a long block message that I'm trying to find.
All right. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. So he said, "I need some commentary bits I can use." And this is like the middle of the night, so I couldn't send them right then. I'm like, "All right, you know what? Here, I'll give you like an outline, a template to work with." So I said, "So, who do you want to make fun of? What do you expect to happen surrounding the tournament?" So like scheduling issues, people flying in or failing to fly in, cool graphical things, issues with production, huge donos, scheduling issues again, etc. And then so I've left that there. Not once does that message get responded to at all. And then like 3 days after, Moose is like, "Yeah, man, I don't know, my comms just weren't hitting that much. I mean, Boggle did a great job carrying, but Badgoblin didn't send me any bits." And I was like, "Oh, what do you?"
Oh my goodness!
What do you want me to send you? I don't know anything that's happening about this tournament besides the fact that I thought it was a tiger, and I found out that it wasn't a tiger in the graphics. That's the extent of my Stride knowledge. And then he's like, "Oh, you didn't give me any bits."
Low-key, I thought it was a tiger too.
At first, I thought it was a tiger, and then I took a closer look.
I mean, a cheetah makes more sense.
Yeah, it makes more sense, but it just looked, it was tiger-like to me, and then I had to check.
Well, Moose commissioned the logo, so you could blame Moose for that.
See, it all comes back to this fucking guy. Oh my god.
I played Blade Game already.
Alright. Enough of talking about Moose. He's not interviewed on this episode. He probably watched this back.
He doesn't get the right reply. It's great. We can
Listen.
slander him as much as you like. He can't reply.
Listen, alright. We love Moose, but I mean, I guess Badgoblin, the bit he chose to make himself was giving you a hard time for not making the bits. I don't know.
Can't believe this guy.
You asked who do you want to insult? He decided on Badgoblin. That's what he decided.
Yeah, to be fair, he's owed his get back after the stackies. So
yeah, that is
he can have that one.
You got the Moose segment, but yeah.
Weren't you told by Moose to make fun of him?
Well, yeah, that was also done by Moose. Yeah.
My goodness.
I mean, this is just a hood classic. But anyways, moving on. I wanna walk us back to before this event existed. Just have to ask, Eds, when did it first pop into your mind that you wanted to run a LAN tournament, and why in the UK? Why not come to America and help out? Why London, and why host one at this time? What was the inspiration?
So, yeah, sure. My inspiration is Zudo constantly going off on Twitch chats during LANs, going, "When's the UK LAN?" And I was like, it wore me down. Eventually, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to run a UK LAN because I'm like the only European TO. There's Matt now as well. Matt runs the European Tetris monthlies, but that only started this year. So before year, I'm pretty sure I was basically the only European Modern Tetris tournament organizer. So it's like, well, if anyone's gonna do a Modern Tetris LAN, it's gonna have to be me. And I wasn't keen on it for a while because I was worried about community safety concerns with running a LAN. But obviously, they started happening more in the US. And Zudo kept bothering me and, well, inadvertently me because I was reading it, but in Twitch chat going, "Where's the UK LAN?" And I'm like, I feel bad. I'm going to have to run one, aren't I? Okay. So, and I wasn't sure there were any esports venues in London because I hadn't come across any, but I Googled it and I found an article which listed some. So I reached out to all of them and sent an email to them saying, "Hey, I've got this idea for a Modern Tetris LAN," and sort of gave all the details and stuff. One of them got back to me saying, "Yeah, you're not going to be able to afford us, mate." And at one point I said, "Okay, well, what's your actual figure?" And they said something like £3,000 for one day. And I was like, "Yeah, that's not happening." So, but SideQuest, they haven't actually got back to me. I did some venue scouting with Boggle Togo, who I hadn't. Boggle Togo is probably the first Modern Tetris person I've met IRL because we met up to go do this venue scouting. So he was the first person I met from online, and he came to my hometown to check out our backup venue, which we would have had to rent PCs for. But I knew them very well because I'm a regular there. So I was like, well, if the worst comes to the worst, we can definitely host it here. We'll just have to hire laptops. So we checked that out, and then we went into London, and then we went to SideQuest, and I went in, and the events manager who I'd actually emailed was there looking at my email when we walked in.
Oh wow,
that's good. That's awesome.
Yeah, just about to reply to it. So I was like, "Oh, that's my." I sort of said, "Hey," and then I just looked at his laptop, glanced at his laptop, and I was like, "Wait, that's my email." So we introduced ourselves and had a chat, and we were like, he was like, "Yeah, we could get somebody to work here." So yeah, we checked out the rest of the venues. There was 3 SideQuest venues at the time, so we checked out all of them and decided which one we preferred. And then we also, and then unfortunately, the one we preferred, which we advertised during TWC, ended up closing down. So we had to go for a different SideQuest venue, the smaller one. But we ended up not really overbooking anyway, so it didn't matter that it was smaller. But yeah, we went there. And we also checked out a couple of other venues, but they didn't seem appropriate. They were one was quite console heavy, and one was, and obviously we wanted me to do Tetris because we're TAWS, and one of them only had a handful of PCs. So SideQuest was the one to go for, and yeah, they gave us a really great deal, similar to I think MTS's deal, no upfront fee. They just do tickets, it just worked out, and they were really supportive. The SideQuest staff, on the day, they were very generous with their time, came in early to help us set up, and were always on hand, ready to help us out. And they had their photographer come in to take photos as well, so they had their professional photographer taking photos, some of which are in the Google Photos album that I'm yet to publish, but the podcast will get an exclusive preview of later. They're just a really great venue. The only downside, their website's a little bit weird. It's got a lot of Web3 stuff on it, but I think that's due to have an update at some point. So I don't know. Maybe that'll get better. You had to put credit onto your account and then book a ticket, which is a bit counterintuitive. You can't just book a ticket. But it worked, and I wrote a guide for it to make it a bit easier.
Yeah, I was looking through that right now. The guide in the info packet and all that.
Yes, and Tetri helped, because I booked my tickets on PC and took screenshots while doing so, and then Tetri booked his tickets on, who's a UK player, UKTEC player, he booked his tickets on on mobile and took screenshots. So we had both, which was cool.
Yeah, that's really nice.
That's cool.
Yeah. So so the website's a bit weird, and obviously the venue they gave us is quite small. Their main venue they couldn't give us because it's much it's got much more footfall, so they'd lose more money giving that place to us. But it's not actually that much bigger, and actually it's less accessible because it has like steps and stuff. So in the end, the venue they gave us was quite good. It's also the venue they gave us is quite near to the an underground station. So yeah, it just worked out really well. Yeah, couldn't really be happy with the venue, to be honest.
Yeah, it's really nice. There were a lot of good things about that venue. It looked like a nice place. They had like in-house drink service and whatever.
We can talk about the drinks, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
So the drinks cool. So they had Tetris G Fuel. I noticed that when I went there venue scouting, and I said, you've got to make sure you have Tetris G Fuel on Stride Day, because, it's a complimentary good. People are going to want to, try out Tetris drinks. So they made sure that they got all the Tetris G Fuel down from their main venue to this to the Stride venue. That's awesome. For us, and I think a fair few people gave it a go. I really like Tetris G Fuel. It's really sweet. Some people don't like the fact that it's just sweet. It's got nothing else to it really. It's just very sweet. Oh, hi Kelvin. They're a bit limited. Well, yeah, they had a few soft drinks. I think they had Coke and Sprite and stuff, and then they had in cans, and then they had a few flavors of G Fuel. So they had like Knuckles G Fuel, and then obviously Tetris G Fuel. So they had a few.
Aspen with the Knuckles G Fuel. Little photo floating around.
Yes. So yeah, no, there's a lot. There were a few drinks, and also they made us a special drink. So I came up. I can't remember who came up with it. It's either me or I think it might have been the events manager at SideQuest. He said, "Oh, well, why don't we do like a special boba tea?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." So I was like, "Could we call it like the Tetris boba tea?" But then that would have like copyright issues. Or do I speak to Oscar and we call it the Tetrio boba tea? And then he was like, "Well, why don't we?" And then I said, "Well, we could avoid those issues and call it like the Plonker boba tea," because the meme is like people wanted a LAN called Plonk, and Moose vetoed me and said, "No, we're not calling a LAN Plonk."
To be fair,
hence we called it Stride instead. But I wanted to have a little nod to that name, and so I said, "Oh, why don't we call it like Plonker or whatever?" And he said, "Oh, let's call it Plonker.io," so it has like a reference to Tetrio in there. So that we had a drink. I don't know if you can bring the photo up, but we had a drink. We had a drink called Plonker.io. Darlian, the events manager, made a poster for it the day before the event and printed it and put it up on the reception desk. And it's like a rainbow lychee boba tea, so rainbow colors like Tetris colors. Not exactly 1-to-1, but the idea is there. It tastes quite nice actually. It's quite sweet. You can zoom into that, yeah. It's quite sweet. I didn't like the boba tea that I tried at this venue before, but I quite liked their what the heck are your bookmarks?
Yeah, that's a long running gag.
I always love when Edge leaks his bookmarks for people to see. It's so.
After I showed them off the first time, I made them weirder. Like they originally weren't this weird, and then people started pointing them out. So I just started. There's like new stuff up here and there.
Oh yeah, Azura was right. Yeah, the piece colors are not accurate, but I didn't make the graphics, so don't blame me.
And then, it was see their other drink offerings kind of here.
Yes.
Like there's their fruit tea stuff.
Yeah, they've got some other bobas. Yeah. But yeah, they so they made us exclusive drink, which I thought was quite funny, and I liked it.
It's
I love this jumper. Yeah, I've been wearing it a lot because it's really warm, and I lost my coat again, so I just have to wear a really thick jumper when I'm outside.
I mean, what works. I've been tossing this fucking jacket around. Like, I'm pretty sure I've worn it on like half the episodes we've done so far.
I've been wearing like the same few hoodies, so it's fine. It's whatever.
I feel like everyone kind of does this during this season. Like, if they lose something or like they just fall into habit,
I just have a small rotation.
Yeah, I feel like most people fall into that. But yeah, so we talked about a little bit of the backstory and the in the organization there. I'll say now you picked out a venue and all this stuff. We have that figured out. I know we wanted to talk about the trophies and all that, so I'll kind of mix this hand in with this question. Why did you guys decide the games and the times to like schedule them, like the bracket selection and stuff? Yeah. And then in addition to that, when in the discussion did you guys decide on adding those trophies?
So most of it came out of my head, to be honest. I think I did send out like a sort of player interest survey to see what games people would be interested in playing, and I put all sorts of options on there. I put on worldwide combos. I put on Tetris just to see what people wanted to play, and what came out. I'd have to find the actual results. I don't have that to hand, but what came out top was. I'll just do it from memory. It was the 4 games that we went with in the end. So PPT2, you got the holy trinity of PPT2, TEC, and Tetrio, right? But then we also added JS because that placed quite high, and it made sense because of TAWS history formerly being JS Amateur Weeklies. I thought, okay, for our first LAN, we've got to have JS on there. So we included JS as a sort of throwback, I guess. And then for PPT, I also asked people in the survey to put like what formats they wanted to play. For PPT, people voted Tetris versus, then mixed versus, but we went with mixed so we could include Puyo players who sort of overrode the vote on that. Yeah. And then we also, on Moose's suggestion, stroke push, we also included Puyo versus so that Puyo players would get sort of more of their money's worth out of the event. So the Puyo bracket ended up being quite small. I think it was only like 10 players or something, but it meant that they had something else to play in. And obviously, I decided to split the prize pool. I'm glad Kelvin says in chat the trophies were awesome, which I'm really glad of because he won the TEC one. So,
trophies? Like,
I think there's an
image in the album. Yeah. I'll talk about the production a bit more. So anyway, going back to what I was talking about, the formats. So we did mixed and Puyo. There you go. That's the trophies. Mixed was really, and you can see they've got both mixed and Puyo. So mixed was really hype. We'll probably show a clip later of a bit of that. Zach ended up winning it. Zach 101155. He was really cool. He used to be the JAWS Asia owner, so he was involved in JAWS before I was.
I didn't even know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So he used to be the JAWS Asia owner, and he he's from Malaysia, but he happened to be in the UK visiting his family. So he was able to. He just happened to be free to come to Stride, and then he flew back to Malaysia yesterday, I think. So we're really lucky to have Zach there. And he's a player who's been around for a while, and I don't think he's competed that much recently, but he ended up winning mixed against Hiku in the finals, Hiku being possibly the best Puyo player in Europe. So he could put up a great fight as Puyo. He got to Grands, but then lost to Zach, who was playing Tetris. And then Hiku won the Puyo bracket as well. He won in Grands against Haven, who had come with him from France. Hiku, I think Hiku and Haven had fun, and obviously, Hiku got to take home a trophy, the Puyo trophy, so that was cool. It's crazy how far people came from. We had Croatia, Germany, the Netherlands, obviously Malaysia, the States, and then Wales and Ireland. So people came from all over to the event, which is really cool. To play in these different game formats, and it's really cool because a lot of people. So the Puyo players did only play Puyo, but the Tetris players played all the different forms of Tetris. So Tetra, I think, was the biggest bracket, but but not by loads.
Tetra was the biggest bracket by one player. TEC almost has as many people playing, which is very interesting.
Yes, so it was quite balanced. I know Snow's Infinite, Tetra's the biggest by far, from what I remember, but
by over 20.
Yeah. But Stride, it was quite cool. People played in all the brackets, basically. We had more people on day 2 because it was the Tetria day, but it seems like a lot of those people also played TEC. So obviously,
that's right.
obviously Kelvin's main is TC, and he won the TC bracket, but he also did quite well in the other brackets. Got to bring up the challenge. I think he came third in JS.
Yeah, let me check. I'll sub it
Oh,
up.
Kelvin came fourth in JS. I think it might have been PPT2 mixed. PPT2 mixed. Kelvin came third. So obviously showing that he's quite a lot of breadth. And obviously third in the other two. Oh, so you came third in Tetrio as well. Yeah. So Kelvin had a really strong performance across the board.
Yeah, that's a really great run. I'm glad that people were able to make strong runs even in not their main game. Just showing lots of talent there.
Yeah, and obviously, Zach won both PPT2 mixed and Tetrio, of course, tuning limit and non-tuning limit. So the fact he was able to win both games was quite impressive. Kelvin upset and Unnamed. That's right. That was in winners semis, wasn't it? Kelvin was fourth seed, and Unnamed was first seed. Unnamed being top 32 Tetra World Championship player. I think he's about 36 in Tetra League. Kelvin's, I think, top 100, but lower down. Somehow Kelvin managed to upset Unnamed in that, and Unnamed ended up finishing fourth, which was unexpected. Unnamed ended up winning the one round of Tetrio lobby, which also had a trophy. The Tetrio lobby was meant to take 2 hours. I thought it'd be a fun idea to do like a lobby format, because obviously we've been running the super lobbies of Hard Drop. So I was like, let's do a lobby format. But it was meant to be 2 hours and feature a lot of like gimmicks, which Zudo would run, because Zudo was on site, so he was able to run lobbies for us. But the TEC had overrun by several hours just because TEC games take forever, mainly, and I misjudged that. Edge was telling me beforehand, "I'll keep the first account low," and I was like, "Oh, we gotta have first to 4 for like top 8, surely."
Did you guys do first to 4? Hold on.
No, we did first to 3 for pools, then first to 4 for top 8, and then first to 5 for grands. But Edge was right. I misjudged that. It should have been first to 3 throughout and first to 4 grands, and then we might have finished closer to on time.
Mm-hmm. I think first to 4 and top 4 without making grands higher is probably decent. That would be the format that I'd look into in the future. Just thinking out loud here for everyone.
Sure.
Just because kind of having that hike in top 4 is pretty nice. Plus, the standard in like LANs right now is top 4 on stream. I actually do forget if you guys try to get top 8 of every game on. I just don't remember that. But
I can advise. So we did. I think the aim was to do same as TAWS, where we stream some pools matches and then stream all the top 8. But because we were overrunning, so TC was slow and we had audio issues with JS. So those are the two things that held up brackets. And I made up most of the time just by making things quicker. So PPT2 PO just happened to be quick because it was a small bracket, so that made up a lot of time.
Yeah, that's really good.
And the Tetrio lobby, I cut from being 2 hours with lots of rounds to just 1 round of normal lobby. One really high stakes round. It's a funny bit, I thought, so it worked, and it did work. And Unnamed won that, but yes, I was able to shave off a lot of time there. But yes, to save more time, we didn't stream most of Losers Eighths. We didn't bother streaming that. So yeah, we tried to skip some more matches to make up time. Yeah.
I'll tell you, like streaming and getting stream matches together is hard with like all the timing and stuff. Like we have a hard time sometimes with stream matches and online tournaments. So I'll tell you something. In person, it's a whole nother animal. It's not like you have a problem finding your matches. All your matches are within the same building. You can go find them. You can get them. But then the problem is like communicating, making sure they get to the setup on time, making sure they connect properly, all that. There are a lot of variables versus people playing in their home. Like that time isn't added there. So I think, though mostly it seems like you guys ran pretty close to schedule, which was nice to hear, especially after January. As that fucking smirk, I saw that.
Also, like the venue, so the venue were really nice to us. They were very okay with us overrunning, but I knew, and they were clear that would put some strain on the staff, especially on the Sunday because there's not much public transport at night. So, we were allowed to overrun, but I didn't want to because it would have been unfair on the staff. So hence we cut things, and also like the players need to go home and stuff. So
yeah, absolutely.
But the fact that we had that flexibility from the venue was very sweet of them, and yeah, they're getting people to stream matches and stuff. We did a lot of shepherding, as I think Aspen called it. So Aspen and Leah were doing most of the shepherding of players to the stream match booths. So it was quite difficult. But Aspen's in chat. Hi, Aspen. Aspen reference. Yeah, no, SideQuest are really lovely. And yeah, obviously the sort of Stride volunteer team were really great as well. People like Aspen and Leah helping with the getting people to stream matches. We had a lot of commentators, including
I saw the credit sheet. Credit sheet was very large. Lots of people coming out to volunteer, which is really nice. So shouts to all the volunteers there.
Really... Aspen made the credits graphics. Shout out Aspen again.
This is true.
But yeah, it was there were a lot of people involved. Have I crashed?
I'm trying to think of what we want to do next. Just talk about scheduling and all that. Oh yeah, I saw this on the trophies. There's a sportsmanship award referenced. Did you guys do anything with that?
Yes. So sorry, Kelvin, what you're referring to made it during the event. Yes. Sorry, Aspen made the credit graphic during the event. Yeah, that's right. My Discord's frozen by the looks of it. I think my connection's just not great. Okay. So what was your question, Ed?
Oh yeah, so I was just asking about the sportsmanship award because we haven't seen anything like that done yet. So
yes,
that would be
so that was my idea. I thought it'd be cool to have an award for that. So at my local wargaming place, which is, like I said, was our backup venue. I've played in a lot of Warhammer tournaments there, and they've always had like a Players Player award, and I thought it was just a nice touch to help encourage sportsmanship. So I didn't really promote it, but I had it there to sort of be able to reward people who showed good sportsmanship. We decided the winner just as a staff team, so we sort of, kept an eye out for, who was seeming to show particularly sporting behaviour. And so the trophy ended up going to Tetri, who we just could see he was always very friendly with people, whether he won or he lost. He was always just especially nice to people after matches, and we like to see that. So we gave Tetri the Sportsmanship Award after discussing it as a team. And it's a full trophy, just like all the others. So in my opinion, it's the best trophy because it's the most important one, which is to be friendly with your opponents at events.
Yeah, it's something very interesting. A nice way to encourage it rather than trying to, I don't know, be like hard on about the sportsmanship stuff and like trying to punish people. I think it's a neat little idea. Big fan of that, which is why I just saw it in passing when we were like poking through the photo album. So I did just want to point that out because I thought it was a really cool idea.
Yeah, and Mark says Tetris pretty rude to you. Tetri likes to BM people online as a joke, but he's really lovely in person. So,
yeah, no, I've noticed that, like, because I've talked to Tetri before, and he's like a lot of what he likes to do sometimes is just like, kind of just like dig at you a little bit.
Yeah, he's memeing. He's like me or Moose when we're in a meme mindset. Yeah.
Yeah, I was glad that when that does happen, it's all on good fun and stuff. So
yeah, it's I don't. As far as I know, it's not in bad faith.
Mm-hmm. It seems like everyone was being really nice. They're having a great time. There are photos of some folks playing chess. I'm gonna show this off real quick.
Yeah.
This is based.
There are some people just. It's funny that they're like.
yeah.
It's funny that you see them through the glass too. So
Yeah.
it's like they're sealed.
Yes, check this picture outside. That's crazy.
I
think this
sealed away
is-
the chess players.
Yeah, I think this is Arcana's board. I played it with him when we went over to Moose's Airbnb after Saturday, and
Has one.
yeah, I think it's Arcana's set. Yeah, that's Arcana and Might Rider playing that. Yeah,
Of course.
I didn't see that actually. I think I was in the production room at the time.
I have to say, of course, someone had to bring up chess.
The Tetrio chess crossover, not quite as strong as the Tetrio Osu crossover. I didn't see anyone play Osu during the event actually.
Good.
That's probably not a
Thank
British
the
thing, I
heavens.
guess.
Thank the heavens.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Rejoice.
moving on from that, I think the next question that I'm curious about is obviously I'm gonna be asking this. I want to talk about like the stream stuff. I know this was mostly probably a Moose project with the stream, but from what you were able to see, how did you think that ran? Do you think the stream stuff was smooth? What did you think could be ironed out there? Anything that you noticed, good or bad? Just as far as like broadcasting the matches.
Yep. No, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, so Moose was largely doing production, but then I ended up doing a fair bit because he was commentating, and on day 2, like he wanted to break towards the end. So I did a fair bit of it as well. Azura put together pretty much all of the overlay graphics, and then Willie J did the coding for the overlay graphics. So yeah, it came together really well. In terms of the operation of it, so yeah, obviously, like I said, we had audio issues with JS at the start. So we were at the venue on Friday, but we weren't able to sort out everything. We could only really do the full audio setup on Saturday morning because the venue was open on Friday, so we couldn't really start trailing cables everywhere and stuff. And like the stream room was in use, and then the staff went home, like the event staff. So we weren't able to set up properly on Friday, which was it. Yeah, that ended up proving our downfall in terms of getting things going quickly on Saturday, because we had a couple of hours to get prepped. But yeah, that wasn't enough to iron out all the kinks with the audio. So I think the audio still wasn't fantastic when we went live, but it was working. And then I think it pretty much all got ironed out on day 2 because there was a different SideQuest event staff there who approached things a bit differently and got it fixed. But yeah, so yeah, audio's a bit of a problem. In terms of transitions and stuff, it's fine. JS Tris was actually a bit of an issue in terms of graphics as well. Just because it's hard to judge what I think it was hard to judge what the screen resolution was going to be. And I think that was the issue. So getting the overlays to line up was a problem for JS Tris. But I think it was basically fine. So I keep saying that it's just because they're like, there's minor issues like transitioning between like stream music and game music, so we didn't have a proper system for that, so I was doing that manually.
Yeah, we used to do that a lot, so I know the feeling.
Yeah, so it's not perfect, but it worked. At one point, I think I turned on Boggle's microphone too early during a break, so like his voice came through during the sort of countdown segment. So there's sort of minor bits of unprofessionalism like that, but generally it worked pretty great, and it helped that the overlays looked so good. So when we were using them, like it looked very professional, even if the transitions weren't always seamless.
Yeah, it seemed like all this ran really smoothly, at least compared to Snows Infinite, which had happened prior. The next thing I'd ask, of course, is do you think any lessons from Snows Infinite were brought into Stride and helped kept it running a tight ship?
Sure. So obviously, instead of Snows Infinite had a lot of brackets, we had 6 brackets spread over 2 days and a venue that was less uptight than the Snows Infinite one. So that on its own was enough to make it work. I also was very conscious of time. Moose wanted to do some like funny segments, and I had to say to Moose, we don't have the time. I'm sorry, we gotta finish on time. We gotta focus on the bracket. So I just, I was always very conscious of time, and I was always trying to move things forward as quickly as possible. One Jack C suggested doing like a PSA on day 2, so we were trying to get through the Tetris bracket quicker, and he said, well, why didn't you do like a little announcement just to say, people, you need to, do your matches as soon as they come up because we need to finish on time. And I did that, and then people did rush through their matches a lot quicker. Which, sure, I guess it was less of a relaxing experience for people, but we needed to finish on time, so people understood that, to make the event work, we just need to play quicker, and so they did. So that worked really well, actually. I think it was generally good. Sorry, I wanted to say something about also with the stream setup. I have to credit Arcana, who from Puyo GB. He's done a lot of, and he's run like classic Tetris UK events for the last few years, and he's like the main person behind the sort of rigs for those, the streaming rigs, and he was so his experience was invaluable because he just knew how everything worked and was able to hook up all the audio and stuff. So we had problems, but it wouldn't have been anywhere near as smooth as it was if Arcana wasn't there with his experience and his equipment.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we were talking about Arcana and their like equipment and stuff just in passing as we've been talking about the event in the months leading up to it. So I'm glad that they were able to make it out. It seemed like it was a huge help.
Do you have any comments from Badgoblin and Commando at this point? I know they haven't had anything to say.
I've just been training questions as they pop up.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I was just curious. I was gonna wait until like towards the end of like when you were gonna talk about like when you were like done mainly talking about like all of the specific things. It's just I was wondering like if there's I was just thinking about like plans for the future of Stride. It's just like do you want to run it again? And if so, it's like, are you going to keep the same place each time? Like, or like anything specific you want to change? Like,
yeah. So my intention is that this would be a twice yearly thing. In the run up to Stride, we did sort of semi-monthly meetups, which I call preludes in a side quest venue, like one side quest venue or another. So that was quite fun, although I organised them with very short notice, which people didn't appreciate. But I was like, well, they're not meant to be fully professional things. So, but I'll try and do, in the run-up to our next LAN, I'll try and do more notice for those. But I want to run, so two LANs a year and then sort of monthly-ish meetups around those. We have another LAN planned. It's probably going to be in Birmingham. It's probably going to be the last weekend of July, so it's in most people's school holidays, and it's 2 weeks before WPLC. So I know Wiley and Moose and possibly Wombo are going to go to both the Summer UK LAN and WPLC. So I think we've timed it quite well. I can't announce much about that at the moment, but we've got plans progressing for that LAN, and like I say, we want to do twice a year, so probably we'll do Stride 2025. Yes, Kelvin Wombo's said he might come. I think he probably will come. I just need to make sure we announce soon and get it all confirmed. We got more LANs planned. I want to make it twice a year and keep that up.
That's I was just curious because I mean Stride's pretty special in being a European LAN, and those typically those haven't been hosted all that often until this point. So it'll be a lot easier for those in that region to come out.
But now we've got started and we had such a strong start. I've kind of been using that enthusiasm to get really ahead on the planning for the Summer LAN. So it's only been a week since Stride, but we've already got a lot of stuff sorted for the Summer LAN. I need to do I was putting together photos for the Stride still, which obviously you've been looking at. And the other big task is I need to do a proper player consultation on what games people want to play and stuff. But the so for the Summerland, but the basic contours of it are there. I've already spoken to a venue, and we've basically got a deal with a venue already. So, the Summerland's definitely happening. And then we just have to decide where Stride 2025 is. Do we do it SideQuest again because they did treat us really well, or do we go with this new venue? So yeah, we'll see. There's more decisions to be made, but things are looking really positive for the UK LAN scene, I think.
That's good.
Yeah, that is. It's really exciting. You guys seem to have so many good plans. It's especially great for the Europe people because there's always the joke that online European tournaments or Europeans always get shafted with the tournament time. So giving them their kind of own special series to look forward to bi-yearly is going to be pretty awesome in terms of the physical and stuff. The last question that I actually have, we've just kind of been blazing through this. Lots of good content in here, I think, for people to kind of think about in terms of if they want to organize their own pop-up LAN tournament. The Stride, one of the smoothest it's ran so far, even compared to WPO, which is the Goliath around, though obviously smaller sizes kind of contribute to that. So I was saying to ask is if there's anything you guys think you're going to do differently compared to how you did it this time, or things that players disagreed with how you handled, and if you're going to change it or not. If you have anything that comes to mind.
So I'm still yet to collect more feedback on this, but one thing is Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. Obviously, the online lag is not fun. From what I understand, I think it was more bearable than people were expecting. Kelvin could correct me on this, but I think it was more bearable than people were expecting, possibly because SideQuest's internet connection was very good. I think it was terabit internet, although obviously the bandwidth is not what technically matters, but it was it was strong internet, so I think that helped. Again, Kelvin, do jump in chat, let me know. But the so I guess next time ideally we'd want to have, if we can, we do PPT2 on console. SideQuest only had PC, so that wasn't really possible. But I guess next time we'd want to do it on console. Oh yeah, Matt has a solution for making it work on PC. Yeah, okay, sure. And so he made sure that people could play local. Okay. But yeah, the streamed ones were online, I think. And so to enable the stream matches to be offline, we would need to get capture cards. And we'd probably want to do it on console, so we'd need to do capture cards on console. But yeah, we've got plans in the works for that, so we'll try and do that. The other thing was obviously people didn't appreciate the brackets overrunning, so there were some people who wanted to play PPT mixed and Puyo who had to leave because the JS bracket had overrun, which had held the PPT bracket up. So that was not great. So we got to try and iron out issues earlier in future so that brackets don't get delayed. And obviously I need to reduce the first account for TEC to make that quicker. So I need to be. We were okay on timing because when we overran, we made up time, but it still caused some issues. So I've got to be even more on top of timing next time. I think those are the main things that come to mind. Also people going. We've got an idea to it provides stuff for people who go O2 in tournaments. So we want to give people more of their money's worth if they're a low rank player playing in an open tournament. So I'm not proposing rank caps or anything for locals, but we do have ideas on how we can get low rank players to play more matches without holding up bracket. So okay, that's good to know. Kelvin didn't have much trouble with online. That's cool. But yes, we have ideas to help out O2 players a bit more. So really stay nice. Tuned on that.
I like that a lot too, because it's just if you have the space, obviously, and you're just it seems like the whole format is strategy is keep the core titles and game modes interlinked, just to just to give those the best experience as possible. So by the factor you're not trying to like cover as many games as SII did, gives you room to do sort of more of those like O2 bracket ideas that have been floated around, and they've worked pretty well at fighting game events so far.
Okay.
Even tried out like some online WPLs had them. I think they called them
Yes.
rookie brackets, if you've heard.
Yes,
So,
I enjoy the rookie brackets. Yeah.
so that's there's already a framework that we're using here for that, which is pretty good. Other than that, is any feedback you've gotten that you want to talk about or anything other than that? I think that covers anything that I have questions for just off the top of my head. Commando asked a few. If anyone else wants to ask about the whole like weekend or tournament experience, of course, would love to hear that. And other than that, we always got chat Q&A, which is kind of a thing that we've been perpetrating and or not perpetrating, but we've been promoting on the VODcast, just getting some questions in.
I do. I do want to bring this up because I was looking through the photos that you shared. One of them's just a cat.
Oh, yes, the cat. One of the side quest staff, maybe their partner or something, brought in a cat, which is like in a box. So yeah, there was a cat. One of the photos has the Don-chan and Eevee plushies on a.
Yeah.
I see you got one behind you, Commando. But yeah, they had them on. Yeah, that's my sort of TO desk. So SideQuest, I think that's basically a staff computer. SideQuest just let me use that to like run stuff on.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, so I had like a whole desk to myself. The trophies are on there because I haven't talked about this yet. The trophies were made in the US by a guy called Polymatech. It was my idea, although some other sort of Stride stuff inputted on the trophy concept, and then Polymatech made the Duty Org throne aspect. Yes, I very much enjoyed having my own desk, but yeah, it got as the cat. It got the trophies got damaged in transit, so Moose transported them for us, which is very nice. But he put them in a suitcase with his jumpers, which was not the most secure way to transport fairly fragile objects. So the trophies came a bit damaged. So I had them on my table, and someone got some super glue for me. So I was super gluing them together when I had a spare moment.
What happened to the trophies specifically? Did like a part like step off that you just had to?
I feel like
yeah,
I feel like the tails. Looking from the photos, the tails look a little fragile. They definitely look like they could break off very easily if you're not careful.
Yes. So I think the tail. Oh, Kelvin says, were they 3D printed? Yes, they were 3D printed on that sort of gold filament.
Gotta love
it. They are, as Kelvin said, they are really nice trophies, but yes, they are a little bit fragile, so you have to be a bit careful with them, just mainly because the cheater model's a bit fragile in places, because it's a bit thin in places. I think the model's just from Thingiverse, so we didn't have to design it from scratch, but yeah, yes, so on one of them the tail had broken off on one like halfway down. On one of them, like one of the feet had broken off like halfway down. And then also they'd come off like the joint between the cheetah and the T-piece that had come off, so I had to glue that in. And then the worst one was the tail had sort of come away at the base of it. So I had to figure out, do I want to break it more so then I can glue it back in? Or do I just leave it like it is? So I sort of let Zach decide, because that was unfortunately that was the Tetrio trophy, so the biggest bracket trophy. Zach originally accepted it and then gave it back to me and said, actually, can you fix this and then return it to me before I go back to Malaysia? And I said, okay. So in the end, yeah, I did basically sort of break away the tail a bit more and then put in the super glue and glued it back in, and that basically fixed it. Like, it's obviously not completely tidy where the fix is, but the tail's not hanging off the trophy anymore. So Zach was pretty happy with that, and he's now gone back to Malaysia with his 2 trophies. So yeah.
Well, we got some satisfied players there with the trophies, and then as someone else asked there, do you guys think you're just gonna ship them directly to the UK now and like front the cost, or try and figure out other packing methods for someone traveling from the US?
There's more story to the trophies actually. So I'd got Polymatech to pack 2 of the trophies sort of more securely at the bottom of the package. because I made 2 surprise trophies. I made one that says Puzzle Kingdom Partner to give to Moose to thank him for helping, and I made another one called Side Quest Partner to give to SideQuest to thank them for hosting. But they were sort of secret ones, and so because Moose repackaged them to transport them to the UK, putting them loose in his suitcase with his jumpers, he didn't notice the sort of hidden ones. So fortunately, he didn't throw out the box because he called his mum back home and said, "Can you check that this box is still there?" Fortunately, it was. So yeah, he took a photo and posted it to Twitter when he got home. So yeah, he's got his trophy, but the SideQuest trophy is also in America. So Moose is going to find a way of transporting it to the UK without it costing too much, and it's still being secure. I think because he said that one's a bit broken as well, so might have to fix it. But yeah, so there's 2 special trophies, which is cool. But sadly, I wasn't able to give them at Stride. I'll have to meet up with SideQuest another time to give them theirs when it arrives from the US. Do we front the cost for paying for the next ones? Maybe, or Moose just needs to pack them more securely. I don't know. I think he said there are other ways he could pack them, so we might not have to pay for proper shipping. Moose might just be able to pack them a bit more securely.
Really nice. Perfect. All right. Anyone have any last burning questions before we hit up the chat? See if anyone has anything they're curious about before we close it out.
Personally, I don't have any further questions unless Badgoblin has anything.
The gob.
I mean, okay. I have one actual question. My actual question is, what do you see as the future of LAN development in the UK? Do you think it's going to be like just you for a while? Do you hope that other people see the success of Stride and get inspired to host LANs of their own? How do you see that going?
I hope people run their own events, but like I say, even online, I'm one of the only European TOs, so it's hard. It's hard to see anyone else popping up anytime soon, to be honest. I don't know. Maybe Matt will run something in Europe sometime, but I don't know. He hasn't said he would to me. I just wonder if he will, because he's been running EU Canon, and he had quite a lot of thoughts on how to run Stride better, which are helpful thoughts. But I do wonder if he might try and run his own thing at some point, which would be fantastic if he does. So I suspect there will be. Oh, Kelvin says Matt did leak something to him. Okay. So so maybe they'll. I definitely get the impression Matt feels like he could have done a lot of things differently or better, which is good. I would like to see Matt put on a LAN, and obviously we'll take his feedback and try and improve ours as well. But yeah, so I guess okay, there you go. I guess there is a possibility that other TOs will start doing Europe plans. Now he's shown that it's possible, I guess.
Very exciting. Big W. All right. Is that?
I think, well, we have the
Q&A.
Yeah, I mean,
chat.
we have the chat, but I mean, as far as our segment
Your
goes,
exclusive time. Anything from your brains.
anything. I guess. Is there anything notable that you want to like bring up from the event itself?
Yeah, true.
Like, is there anything memorable? Is there anything funny or?
Oh, can we? I sent a clip. I sent a few links to Edge. Can we see the Hiku double all clear clip?
Let me see if I can bust this up here.
I think this is probably the hypest gameplay moment. Maybe chat can correct me, but I don't remember there being like as much. I think it is versus you, Kelvin. Yes.
Oh, rib.
This is a candidate for Player of the Year potentially. Yeah, I mean you could just say it's pure RNG, but it was a pretty hype moment. There was also mystery. Oh, okay, let's watch this. We haven't got sound. We got sound.
Wait, hold on. I have to fix this.
Okay.
You guys won't have sound. The stream will. This is kind of unfortunate, but all right, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing this clip at some. I think Moose showed it to me.
Oh, PC.
Yes, there's the first all clear.
Sorry. I thought
He starts building up his next chain,
all clear is not that beneficial, I guess, in PvP.
and you're like, oh, this isn't all.
Oh
clear,
yeah, this is
surely."
so. Oh.
A 5-chain all clear. Oh,
Okay, this is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
no, that was absolutely crazy.
Ooh.
and this
Oh
is
my
match
God.
point.
Style
And
points, the style points, baby.
yeah.
Let's
It's
go.
just dead.
Where's Renoa?
And then,
Where's Renoa?
Oh yeah, hold on, keep watching.
This
Hiku
would
comes
have
in
definitely
with.
popped off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sorry, Haven, there you go. That's Haven.
There it is.
Crazy out there too.
You just see in the top.
Oh yeah, the France
They're
flag.
popping off. Hiku's going crazy in the hallway. We could hear him from here.
Yeah, Hiku was there, OSW. It was really
Oh my
cool.
God.
Yeah, that was
Hiku-
really funny.
Hiku was runner-up in the mixed bracket, so he ended up losing to Zach in the round after that, and then Hiku won the Puyo bracket. Yeah, well, if you get a moment, OSW, it's all on VOD, of course, so you can watch the bracket back.
It's true. It's called the VODcast
yeah.
for a reason. Also,
We don't.
But Hiku was. I'm trying to think. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So on day 0 of Stride, so on the Friday, Hiku was at the venue practicing against Zetris, Matt's PPT bot on Tetris. So he was practicing his Puyo versus Tetris. So obviously that paid off because he got to the mixed finals as Puyo, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, you don't see that a whole lot with PPT.
No.
you really
No,
don't.
I hear it happened in the US recently as like a side event at Frosty Faustings. I think Puyo won that, but yeah, it's still relatively rare. And yeah, Kelvin's right. He couldn't have them were really cool together. They'd come from France together just to play in this tournament, and they said they've told me that they've been to like some Europe events as well. They said they walked like 20 miles to get to one event just to save money. So like rather than
goodness.
yeah, instead of getting a train, they walked for ages.
Walked
So
20
yeah,
Miles. Hold on.
Yeah.
Bring that back.
yeah,
That's
it's a long
like
way.
actually just walking a marathon.
Yeah,
Just casually because they didn't. Oh my
And
goodness.
we're
Yes.
taking like the whole day to and back.
yeah.
What the
Yeah,
hell?
yeah. Yes, Kelvin, they did mention that. So that was feedback from He Couldn't Have It. So interestingly, I kept the Puyo brackets on the same day because I was like, well, I don't want them to have to wait for a whole day if they're just playing. If someone's just coming from Puyo, I wasn't actually thinking of He Couldn't Have It. I was thinking of Puyo GB. People from there. I was like, I don't want them to have to come to both days because we've spread them across both days. But He Couldn't Have and said they actually prefer it to be spread across both days in future. So I guess that's a change we'll do if everyone agrees. Because the reason they said that was because people are, when they're knocked out bracket, they're practicing for the next bracket. But once the Puyo brackets have happened, of course, no one's playing Puyo because they're practicing for the Tetris brackets. So I think their thinking was if you have Puyo across both days, then people will be more willing to just hang out and play Puyo with them in preparation for the later Puyo bracket. So they seemed, I guess also because they traveled from France, they wanted to get more out of their time in the UK. So rather than just coming from one day, they wanted to be there for 2 days. But they couldn't justify staying there for just Tetris. So I guess that is a thing we'll have to change. Again, as long as everyone else agrees in the consultation, we'll probably do Puyo across both days so that they can come to both days next time. Yeah. There was one other hype moment, which was we ran the rock, paper, scissors tournament. I don't have a short clip of this, but it's quite funny.
Here's what we'll do. Rather than playing it, we'll give the link to the stream.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mark, are you Tetri? I'm guessing you're Tetri.
Yeah, I've been wondering as well as we've just been going through, but of course, focusing on getting the episode through.
The thing that gave it away was his WTF to Kelvin flaming him.
I
That's
didn't
very
see
Tetri.
that. Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, Kelvin, I was thinking for quite a while. I just hadn't called him out yet. I was thinking this is Tetri, because Tetri said he was going to watch as well. So yeah. Anyway, hi Tetri, nice to know your first name.
Shout out.
We did rock paper scissors. Oh, sorry, I got distracted by Tetri because he said you wanted to swap bracket. it just depends about if we have the time to fit it in. I don't want to do a Snows Infinite and run too many brackets, basically. So I'll do a survey. If people vote for swap, we'll run it instead of running mixed or something. But that's hilarious, Kelvin.
Swap would be really exciting. That would be very interesting to see, but of course, all up to the future. But now I think, without further ado, it's time to blaze through this chat Q&A. So let's find the first serious question. We got one from Aspen. We can all take turns reading these off because I think that the questions are public. If they're not, then
when I read
YouTube.
these,
Yeah, there should be a questions tab in the chat where you select between top chat and stuff.
I'll have to open the actual YouTube.
I don't see it on my end.
I will give us a screenshot then. Shoutouts to YouTube.
That's to YouTube.
It's in our VC text. So yeah, I'll start with Aspen, so we can just go down the list. So Aspen asks, given how much of a presence Matt was at Stride, do you see the possibility for TAWS and EU Canon to collab on a LAN somewhere in mainland Europe in the future?
To be honest, I'm not sure why Matt would need our help necessarily. If he wants to collab with us, I could speak with him about it. I haven't actually traveled outside the UK since 2016.
Wow.
So, yeah, I don't like flights for environmental reasons, but I mean, Europe I could easily travel to on the train or whatever, but I just haven't had a reason to go. So I guess, and I'd have to set aside more annual leave and stuff for that, which I can't necessarily afford to do running 2 UK LANs a year. So I'm not sure if I'd be able to help in person necessarily. And like I say, I also think Matt's probably capable to run it on his own. But if he reaches out to us about a collab, obviously we'll consider it. Yeah.
Could have other TAWS staff work on your behalf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, or if like there's TAWS volunteers who want to go, that's great. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. Who wants to take the next question, Commando?
Yeah, I guess I can take it. Arrowy Lime asks, is the Stride event the name itself? Is the name Stride like supposed to be a reference to like 6-3 stacking, which is like what you tend to do?
Yes, it is a reference to. Oh, Edge is gone. It is a reference to the style of play where you're playing very high PPS, low APM. Yeah, it is a reference to that, basically.
Yeah,
because like I said, we were thinking Plonk, but Plonk Moose vetoed that because it sounds silly. So we were like, okay, well, what's the opposite of Plonk? Yeah. Stride. Does Stride sound okay? Yes. So we'll go Stride.
Pretty simple there, but
I think it would look a little ridiculous to have something to just have the logo just say Plonk.
I was thinking the animal for Plonk could be like a platypus or something. I don't know.
You know what? I think if someone decides to
Plonky the platypus is insane.
Oh my god.
Kelvin, you'll just have to.
If someone decides to run a tournament called Plonk, well, we really just spelled it out for you.
I was thinking, someone said Plonk sounds like a drinking thing. So one of the possible venues in London that we considered was a bar, which had about 7 or 8 PCs, I think. So I wonder if maybe we should run a mini LAN called Plonk at this bar. It'd be an 18+ LAN.
That would be kind of sketchy, but it would low-key be funny. Oh my god.
So that's a random idea I had. I don't think that would happen this year. It'd be next year if we do it. But yeah. Kevin says sprint tournament next time on. It's not Stride. Well, you'll have to vote for sprint versus in the Stride 2025 consultation survey.
Sprinter Cup coming back.
I did. Yeah, Willie J Sprinter Cup was fantastic. I still can't believe Promo won that. Just like consistency. Who didn't stand a chance? But yeah, sprint versus is definitely a possibility. I did actually include it on the consultation survey for when it was called TAWS London LAN, so it only got called Stride later. But sure, if people vote for that on the consultation survey, I'm sure we can do it.
All right, I'm gonna head out for a quick break to the bathroom while Badgoblin asks our last question here. So yeah, hopefully that works. I'm gonna disappear again.
All right.
This time, potentially.
Vanish.
Ooh.
But yeah, Badgoblin has the next question.
We've got our final question. What about any non-Tetris side events in the future? Stuff like bouldering or any other activities in the area of the venue?
Bouldering. I didn't know there's bouldering nearby, but it's London, so there probably is. Well, as who asked the question?
That was
from
Kelvin.
Kelvin.
Kelvin. I mean, as you know, Kelvin, we were struggling to keep to time as it was, just with Tetris and Puyo stuff. I know Kelvin was there until, was it Wednesday or something, just hanging around in London. It was mentioned at WPL. Oh, fair enough. I know Matt organised a trip to the local arcade on Monday evening. I don't think they had a TGM cabinet, sadly, but they had like old Mario Kart and stuff like that, and Tekken and things like that. So I know they had a good time there. I'm sure it was very fun. But I couldn't make it because I was doing other stuff. But I'm not sure we could officially do that. So I know you were there for quite a long time, Kelvin, but I don't know how many other people would want to do more than a weekend. Obviously, some people have like work during the week and whatnot, and don't want to take too many days of annual leave for one Tetris LAN. Yeah. So it's something that Wiley's put to me before. That it's something that Wiley's put to me before, that there should be. Like, why isn't there like a longer LAN? The simple reason is, the main reason is time commitment.
Yeah.
So, if people want to, I don't know. It'll just be, it's just more difficult.
That's one of the problems with LANs. Like, a lot of people really like to be there for longer, and that's fair. But not everyone's going to be able to, stay all of those days, because. Like, the longer, like, if you have, especially if you're traveling, the longer you go, the longer you stay there, the more expensive it gets.
Yes.
I know when it comes to LANs, like, typically what people will do is just like they'll try to coordinate something outside of it. It doesn't have to be an official thing. It's kind of just like a bunch of people will be like, hey, we're gonna be doing this thing outside of the LAN if anyone's interested and wants to hang out.
Yeah.
That happened a lot with WPL, and it also happened with Snow's Infinite. That's where we got the wonderful incident.
Welcome back, Edge.
Thank you, yeah. I was gonna mention, since I just picked up the edge of that last point, you can see the edge of some food I grabbed here as well that I'm gonna be eating right after we wrap this episode up.
The what of some food? Yeah, go on.
The Edge burger. But yeah, we
coming soon to McDonald's.
Oh my god. So yeah, this summer I was bring up. There's an interesting thing that happened at some of the WPLs, where the city that WPL's held in has a minor league baseball team. So sometimes, like the day before, they have people go out to the baseball games. Because Commando's laughing at this. Do you have something to add here?
No, I just find that really funny.
So it's just like, I don't know, activities like that can bring people together, are always great. I think the first time that happened, they were playing the home team of my city. My city is a minor league baseball team. Unfortunately, I could not attend this game, but gee, I wish I could.
Edge was really just about to like root for his hometown in the middle of everyone else.
Shouts to the Toledo Mudhens. Got the hat right there. Part of the uniform, you know what I'm saying?
Wiley's coming to the Summerland, so it's gonna be really cool.
It's gonna be exciting. Yeah, you might be able to get someone from every continent up there.
Well, we'll have Australia, States.
Yeah, we'll have
we won't have Asia unless if Wombo's relocated to South Korea by that time, in which case we will have Asia.
Isn't Zach from Malaysia or did they
Zach
confirm
won't
that
be
they can't
coming
come?
again in the
Okay.
summer. Nah, probably not. They probably can't do another family trip to the UK. Maybe next year though. I mean, Moose is from Africa originally.
Yeah,
He's very proud of his Eritrean nationality, I think.
Yeah. They're really cool nationality as well.
Yeah, so I guess Moose is technically from both Africa and America, but yeah. Well, yeah, he is Wiley. He's definitely considering moving to South Korea. Strongly considering, so he might have moved there by the time we get to Summerland. I don't know.
I mean, I know he traveled there like shortly after Snows Infinite.
I mean, yeah, he's on like an extended stay there. Like I haven't asked him or anything, but it's like a pretty strong rumor that that's going to be happening.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
So yeah, I guess we all have pretty much people from all around the world coming to Summerland, so it's cool.
Yeah, it's definitely becoming more of the worldwide thing.
I guess TAWS has always been an international thing, so that's cool. That's kind of being reflected in our LAN.
That's really nice.
I know Snows Infinite was obviously very big as well because you had mine from South America and you had Aspen from the UK. So Snows Infinite also had a lot of people from across the world coming. But yeah,
that one was mainly interesting because of how many Canadians came out specifically, which is like some awesome stuff there. But other than that, I think we went through all our questions. We might have it here.
Yeah, I think I've talked about pretty much everything I wanted to. Oh, obviously, maybe if there's more photos we can go through. If you got the Azura plushie photo.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot to show that.
We should bring that up. I think it's just a nice little continuation off of the Snows Infinite Zudo.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I haven't seen that one actually. I must have skipped through it. Oh no, I know. It's because Aspen said she's going to upload some photos. This must be Aspen's photo. This is Azura's Aspen brought Blahai to represent Azura because it was my suggestion actually. I think because I saw the Zudo Wumbo plushie thing and I was like, Azura's very integral part of TAWS. So I felt like it was right that we have something that represents her. So the Blahai was brought along, and so Azura was at Stride, in a sense. And also there's Maita Ryder who's from Wales, brought along a Bradley Walsh.
Yeah, let me find this solo photo of it.
There you go, and there's Azura behind him. So that we had a camera. So this was a squad room. So it's like a contained room of 6 PCs with a door that goes to the main room. And these PCs are slightly more powerful as well. They've got like more powerful graphics cards. And we had a camera in there, which was the background on our streams. The problem is we didn't have a cable long enough to like put an actual camera in there. So instead, I had to give it my phone. So my phone OBS ninja'd.
Oh, you just gave it up all day? That's awesome.
Yeah. So my phone was just there, completely unsecure as well. But anyway, my phone was just there. OBS ninjaing the feed through to stream, which was used as a background of like an orange tint. It was very low FPS for some reason, probably because my phone's not good enough because the internet was fine. But it meant that there was floor cam of sorts that was used on the scenes, which was nice. But yeah, in front of that camera was Bradley Walsh with his Freddo bow tie and the Azura plushie behind him. But you couldn't see the Azura plushie; you could just see Bradley Walsh.
Do you think I could convince someone to get a cardboard cutout made of me and bring it to the next one?
Maybe you can make it like a Edgephone sub goal. I don't know.
I think I know the exact
I think the
photo
next
I would
marathon
want
I'm doing will happen before this. So
Okay.
I
Bradley Walsh.
right now,
Walsh.
I think I know the exact image I'd want a cardboard cutout of.
Mage Edge.
No.
No.
It's the fucking sparkle on one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a sparkle on.
It's
so good.
So Bradley Walsh. Bradley Walsh is the host of a UK quiz show. He was also a Doctor Who companion, so a major character in the sort of main British sci-fi TV series, and probably the best companion of the trio. They weren't great seasons, but Bradley Walsh as Graham was possibly a standout of that set of characters, I guess. But the particular, I think the cutout is from his Doctor Who. He's in his suit from Spyfall, which is one of the episodes. Yeah,
just a very British reference.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it's very British.
Very, very interesting. But yeah, I think on that note, we might have ourselves a VODcast for real this time. I don't think any more questions have came in. So yeah. We've always talked about how our episodes are ran like over time. Like we normally yap for so long, but we might be on our way to produce a structured series.
But I mean, I think we had everything covered. There's probably a lot of stories outside of the LAN that could be shared. But I'm not sure how many of those you were part of.
Yeah, not really. I went to the pub after Saturday with everyone else, but not much really happened there. Mystery had his had his Gestress winner trophy on him, so I think he probably just had nowhere else to put it. But I was happy that he seemed to be enjoying his trophy. And after Sunday, I think I just went home after Sunday. Yeah, honestly, there's not. I can't say that much. You'd have to bring on Kelvin, who was there in London the longest out of all the people who travelled there. So
maybe one day we'll do a VODcast about like LAN stories, various tournaments.
Yes, Tetri, I did go to Nando's with you. That was on Thursday, so I went to my college city to hang out with some friends there, and then came back on Thursday and played I think Tetri beat me like 64-1 at TEC on a side quest computer. We streamed that. It was fun.
You played 65 rounds of TEC?
Something like that, yeah. It was 2 hours solid of just TEC.
Unbelievable. Okay, apparently Tetri went to Nando's.
There's a lot of stories popping up in chat
Nando's.
Yeah, he went 3 times. Yeah, so Tetri's a big Nando's evangelist, for want of a better phrase, and
is Nando's just context.
It's a chicken place in the UK. It's like Chick-fil-A, I think, but British.
Oh. Interesting.
But yeah, they do like, chicken. You can choose how spicy you want it, and the portions aren't that big, and it's expensive, so it's bad. But for some reason, Kelvin likes it, and Tetri really likes it. So Tetri's gonna shut me down for heresy now. But yeah, honestly, it's not that great. It's a little bit chicken, but yeah.
Always a good time. It's probably the people that make those experiences more than Nando's itself.
And there's a joke. Sorry, it's referred to as a cheeky Nando's, and that's sort of meant to mean something euphemistic, but I don't understand what. So yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, it was the people that made the experience at Dave & Buster's.
Yeah. There's no experience there, Commando. You guys
what do you
got
mean
fucking
there's no
banned.
Experience
you got fucking banned. You guys got banned.
You weren't even there to witness it.
I'm so glad I didn't go. I was offered to go. I declined.
You should have gone. You could have laughed your ass off.
You guys know that during Snow is Infinite, I was going to bed at like 8:30 p.m. every night. I was like going to bed earlier than I've went to bed since I was like 8 years old. Earliest I went to sleep.
I was leaving the tournament. Like, we were leaving the venue, and we were, like, going to go out somewhere, and then I had asked Edge if he wanted to come, and he's like, I'm going to sleep, and then I checked the time, and it was, like, 6.
Yeah.
Also,
and I'm like, what do you mean you're going to sleep? And he's like, I mean exactly what I said.
Also, Aspen's telling me to get through a VODcast without mentioning Dave & Buster's. I should get through a VODcast without mentioning Love Live.
I was waiting. Yes, sir.
It takes it unscrolls very long scroll. Check. Shit.
Put it on the VODcast bingo card.
Anyone have a Love Live update?
They sure
no,
don't.
other than the fact that it has been on like my list of things to watch.
Here, let's search Love Live on Twitter. Let's see what comes up.
Oh no, Ed, your algorithm's gonna be completely messed up now.
You're acting like my Twitter algorithm's okay in the first place. It's always been bad.
I love how we were about to end this off and then we prolonged it with other crap. True VODcast fashion.
Kelvin, are you coming back in the summer? Are you gonna come to the summer UK LAN, or are you just gonna stay in Europe now with whatever Matt's doing?
Alright, apparently there are no Love Live updates, which is the biggest update that we can give because that shit's shutting down soon. I think there's a month left, I think, already.
1 month left. Get your playtime in.
No one in this stream plays that game. Don't try and fool anyone.
Not
no
yet.
one in my stream or this stream, the VODcast. No one in VODcast viewership plays it.
You know what I
think
still
Andrew
have
plays
installed on my fucking phone? Ant Legion for the Swarm.
Oh,
from the one
yes,
sponsored
sir.
stream that Edge did of Ant Legion.
They still
And I
owe
have
me
not
20
opened that
bucks.
game
They
in,
still
like-
owe me 20 bucks. They never
didn't even
made
pay
me.
you.
No, they didn't.
I haven't opened that game in like 3 months, but I had to free up space to install an update, and then I was going through apps to like back them up and not have them on my phone anymore. I'm like, fuck, I can't delete this. This.
There's
What if
no
the
way
Ant
you left
Legion
Ant Legion
colony-
installed.
What if the ant colony needs me? Which, to be fair, I've probably been kicked from whatever clan I was in at this point for
sorry.
activity.
Chat's just reminded me something about Stride. Kelvin's dad came along for the whole thing.
Yeah.
A lot
and-
of people are talking about Kelvin's dad.
Yeah. As Kelvin said, Kelvin's dad kind of outshined Kelvin, which is not true. They're both lovely people. They're equally lovely. But he was really cool. Kelvin's dad was just, he was just watching Kelvin's gameplay, just really interested in everything, and yeah, it was wholesome.
I'm gonna say now, the only interaction I had with Kelvin was at WPLC 2 years ago. So to me, Kelvin is still the more impressionable person.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say same. Okay, I just got
All right.
word. We have Love Live news. Apparently, the hourly glitch still exists. They haven't fixed it.
Of course
And now
not.
in the official Love Live Discord, I use official very loosely, but in the Love Live fan Discord, there's now a role you can opt into that will give you a warning every hour to fucking not play the game, so your shit doesn't get reset.
Oh dear.
So if anyone's in this Discord and you want to add something to the image, if someone can add the VODcast logo on here, and we can actually have them put that through, that would be fucking awesome.
That
And shouts to Andrew, our resident Love Live reporter, now on the VODcast, giving us this update.
we cannot
yeah.
put him on the podcast though because he's a part of Apple Orchard.
Yeah, that is true, but he is the reporter. We will speak for him as he gets.
Yeah,
us to
and
speak.
I've always got my reaction is, what are we looking at?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you want the lore, you have to watch all 5 previous VODcasts
Oh gosh.
and wait for the Love Live news section.
Oh yeah, we already have podcast in jokes. Amazing. Okay.
We had one
Alright.
since the first 10 minutes.
I think with that news we can finally wrap this up unless
This
there's
is true.
any final thoughts.
This is like James May on Top Gear going, the Dacia Sandero. You go, in Love Life news.
It's true.
Oh,
It's
God.
really true.
But yeah, I guess one final thought for me is that I'm glad that Stride managed to be as successful as it was. It's very good to
Absolutely.
see that. It's really good to see the EU scene get a little more love, especially with how a lot of people like to joke around saying that that's the competitive scene is kind of dead, or
we
just,
got-
neglected.
Yeah, we got Mystery, we got Kelvin, we got Unnamed.
Yeah, you got a lot
Yeah,
of
we got
people
cool
from
people.
like mainland EU, which is
Yeah.
really good to see.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
I think we
Dow
can-
came and commentated, which is very cool. And then he was just spectating the rest of the event. So Dow was there a lot of the time, just watching. So
Yeah, I
hanging with
saw that.
people.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
But I think with that, we can
Awesome.
we can wrap this up.
Yeah. All right. Eds, you know we do our outros.
No.
Oh no.
Do we sing?
Rub 'em in. Unfortunately, no.
We don't sing because I'm pretty sure we couldn't keep that up for 6 episodes straight. But
I'm not going to sing, not unless there's money behind it.
But we close off piece by piece. So if you would be so kind as to give us a thank you so much for watching.
Okay. Yeah, thanks so much for watching, everyone, and see you at the Summer UK LAN. I hope everyone who can be there is there.
Eds tossed an announcement. Ad there. An ad. All right.
Anyways,
Maybe continue.
That was truly dismal. But hey, you can look out for more dismal content on the next episode of the
VODcast.
Cast. See y'all next time.
See ya.
good God, we can never get that right.